Bismillah, the first question says, is it permissible to break my fast because of a family member from out of town visiting? We say fasting the month of Ramadan is obligatory upon each and every single Muslim who's sane, of age, and a resident that has the physical capabilities of doing so. And they're not those who are fighting in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's cause. Every Muslim who's sane, of age, not traveling, with good physical health, and they're not making jihad in Allah's cause. If you do not fall under one of those categories, then it is now incumbent and mandatory upon you to fast. Fasting is obligatory according to the Quran and Kareem, the Sunnah of the Messenger of Allah, and the conclusive ijma', the scholarly consensus of the Muslims, is that if you're a Muslim of age, who's sane, physical capability, not traveling, not fighting jihad in Allah's cause, you must fast. And of course, women who are on or during their monthly periods, their menstrual cycles. If you do not fall under one of these categories, then you have no excuse for breaking your fast, unless there's a situation of extreme necessity, such as rescuing someone. Someone's drowning, you have to go in the water and take them out the water. You're extremely exhausted and fatigued. And the doctor says you have to eat something. We have an emergency, a car accident, surgery in which they took a lot of blood and they have to put things, something like this. If that's not the case, family visiting, going to the mall, doing this, studying here and there, there is no excuse to break your fast. Because fasting, and this is the reason why I'm answering a question like this, is to give you guys these principles, very important, is that we have something that is for sure, that's certain. It's certain. Fasting is wajib upon those who fulfill those conditions. We do not leave off something which is certain for something that is doubtful. So therefore, your parents coming to visit you, you have the following options. First and foremost, you can allow them to come at a time in which you break your fast. Okay? Or explain to them that you're fasting, if they're not Muslim, or if they're traveling and they've broken their fast. Inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's the general answer to the question. Okay? We have many issues that are branches from this big solid root on Hufaz. The first issue is, what if your family members were traveling from out of state? They're Muslim, it's permissible for them to break their fast. Once they reach your home, you're in New York City, you're not traveling, Jureej. Saeed, assalamu alaikum. Tayyib. Is it now permissible for you to feed them?
Yes.
Is it permissible for you to feed them? That's the first issue. Allah knows best. That's the first issue. The second issue is, if your family members are not Muslims, they have not yet been blessed with Islam, they're Christian, they're Jews, they're Buddhists, Hindus, whatever they are, they're not Muslims. They come to visit you. You're a good Muslim, you treat your family well, you allow them to visit you, because it's permissible to allow your non-Muslim relative to visit you. Is it permissible for you to give them food? Your mother, your father, your brother, they come from out of state. You sit down at the table, can you give them coffee and donuts? Can you give them tea and biscuits? Is it permissible? They're not Muslim. Is it permissible for you to give them food? Or we say, Muslims who run businesses, whether it's a deli or a restaurant, is it permissible for you to have your store open in the daytime and give kuffar food? This is an issue in itself. I'm not going to answer the question. This is a branch. That's a fiqh. We have the asl, and then we have the what? The branch. You can't get to the branch until you what? Have mastered the asl. Very important. As we say, walk, crawl before you walk. Now, another concept is, let's say a Muslim man has a business in which he sells clothes. Is he allowed to sell clothing to non-Muslim women, and he knows that those non-Muslim women are going to wear those clothes in an impermissible manner? Tight clothes, revealing clothes. A man sells lingerie or underwear. Is it permissible for him to sell to those non-Muslim women? And they're going to go outside. She says, how does this look? She goes into the mirror. I want to wear it outside. Is it permissible for you to sell that to them? Or perfume. Can you sell oil? Can you sell perfume to Muslim or non-Muslim women who wear it outside? Because a Muslim woman is not allowed to wear perfume outside of the home. As the Messenger of Allah said, إِذَا شَهِدَتْ إِحْدَاكُنَّ الْعِشَاءَ الْآخِرَةَ فَلَا تَمَسَّ طِيبًا. The Messenger of Allah, he said to Zainab, the wife of Ibn Mas'ud, radiallahu anhu, he says, when one of you wishes to go to the masjid and offer the Isha prayer or the Maghrib prayer, she should not touch perfume. So a very widespread mistake that many Muslim women make, and unfortunately Muslim men, they allow their wives to wear perfume outside of the home. They allow their wives to come to the masjid, to go to the functions wearing perfume. That is haram, and it is prohibited in Islam. There's a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ said, the similitude of this woman, I won't mention it right now, very severe. So therefore, the concept is, Abu Sa'id, can a Muslim do things with or to non-Muslims that he's prohibited from? That's one. Now you can take the branch and branch it off even further now. We can fine-tune it even more. Something that is haram upon you all the time, can you do it with them? Or something that is haram upon you during certain times, can you do it with them? Such as fasting. What is the ruling on eating stewed chicken and rice? Halal or haram? Haram? Halal, inshallah. This is the biha, so on and so forth. Halal. What's the rule on eating pork chops? All of the time?
Unless it's a necessity.
Right. Be sharp. Unless it's dire necessity. So therefore, I can eat the stewed chicken and rice, but can I give the stewed chicken and rice to a non-Muslim in the daytime of Ramadan? That's the first issue. Next issue is something that's always haram, except for extreme necessity, is the pork, the flesh of swine. It's haram upon Muslims to eat the flesh of swine, but they can eat it. Can I give it to him? That's the concept. If you wanted to sum up this entire method or this technique, it is one rule. هَلَا الْكُفَّارُ مُخَاطَبُونَ بِفُرُوعِ الشَّرِيعَةِ. The people nowadays, they say, the rule is, or the concept is, are the non-Muslims required to abide by the injunctions of the Sharia? We have to make salah, right or wrong. Will a kafir be punished for not praying in thereafter? Or will they just be punished for their disbelief in Allah? You understand the concept? The furu' of the Sharia. They know the asl of the Sharia, they're mukhatabun. The address is for them too, to believe in Allah. Everybody saying, with me on the for them to believe in Allah, that's mandatory. But the other injunctions, the rules, the do's and the don'ts, are they included in that? If you say that they are, then it's haram to set them food in the daytime of Ramadan. Just like you can't eat, he can't eat either, even though he's a Catholic. If you say that rule does not apply, because it's a technical issue of usul al-fiqh. It's a technical issue here. If you say it doesn't apply to them, and they're only responsible for iman in the beginning, then it's permissible for you to give them food in the daytime. For him now, everybody got this? Even if it's in brief, everybody got this? Right, moving on. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. And we said before that breaking your fast in the month of Ramadan is a major sin without an excuse. It's a major sin. As the Prophet ﷺ told us about the horrible punishment that will take place in thereafter for those who do this. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Next question says, virtue of making dua in the month of Ramadan, significance of Laylatul Qadr and dua in it. We say making dua is virtuous inside of Ramadan and outside of Ramadan. And this is a general principle. Once again, we have another principle of Hamza. It's very important for us to have these concepts. Is that the act of worship, it is multiplied in its virtue, in its reward, in a virtuous time, and in a virtuous place. Just as a sin and an act of disobedience to Allah is even ugly. It's even uglier in special times and special places. Making salah is good all throughout the year. Even better in Ramadan, even better in Medina, even better in Mecca, even better in front of the Kaaba, even better in the third of the night. Making a sin, disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is haram, is bad in New York City, but it's even worse in the Holy Lands, in front of the Kaaba, in the last part of the night. So it goes both ways. So we say therefore that making dua is from the greatest acts of ibadah, and as it states in the hadith, even if the hadith is not the most authentic hadith, but there's some of the knowledge who say that it's fair and it's acceptable. مَنْ لَمْ يَسْأَلِ اللَّهَ يَغْضَبْ عَلَيْهِ. Those who do not invoke Allah, He will become angry with them. He will become angry with them. So even though this hadith is not the most authentic hadith, but inshallah the meaning is generally supported by the authentic text of the Kitab and Sunnah. وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمُ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. الدعاء هو العبادة. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. إذا استعنت فاستعن بالله. إذا سألت فاسأل الله. And many other hadith that prove and tell us about the virtue and the excellence of making dua. And we have to understand something, brothers and sisters. Alaykum salam. We must know our Lord. We must know our Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. Allah says, and to Allah belongs the Asma al-Husna. He didn't say Asma Hasana, Asma al-Husna. Those who have the most beauty, the greatest imaginable beauty you can think about, Allah has those names. So the nature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that He loves to be invoked. He loves to be called upon. Allah loves for His repentance to be begged and asked for. Allah loves for forgiveness to be sought from Him. So the more you know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the closer you be to Him. So therefore Allah loves for the slave to raise his hand and say, oh my Lord, help me. You raise it like this, I'm listening, or like this. Kilahuma. What's the sunnah? How do you raise your hands when you make dua? Are your hands open or your hands together like you're holding a cup of water? And why?
Another hadith talks to someone, remember, he rolls his hands like this.
That hadith says like that? Or the hadith says he raised his hands? Which one?
And about brother, Prophet was making dua, and Abu Bakr was there. His whiteness of her armpit was being shown.
Okay, so my armpit's not showing?
No.
You can't see the whiteness of my armpits?
No,
What hadith do we have that states that the Prophet made dua like this and not like this? You have to think carefully now. Tayyib, the hadith he raised his arms, the rida fell off of him. But what hadith specifically says his hands, his yadain, his kafain were together or open? Some Muslims make dua like this. Some Muslims make dua like this. What is the sunnah? Inshallah, research this. Research this.
On this topic, Sheikh.
That's it. Stick and move. Keep it moving. Right, moving on. So that's the concept of making dua in the month of Ramadan. Next question says, what is the significance of Laylatul Qadr and making dua in it? Allah says, خَيْرٌ مِنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. Laylatul Qadr is better than 1,000 months. Better in what? What does that mean? خَيْرٌ مِنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. Laylatul Qadr is better than 1,000 months. And what means? Reward, virtue, forgiveness. What does that mean? Now, how many of us memorize this surah in the Quran? All of us. What does it mean though? This is another concept. We have to understand what we're reciting in our prayers. What does it mean when Allah says, Laylatul Qadri khayrun min alfi shahr? And 1,000 months according to who? Us? Or the time that's with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So that's, as we say, food for thought. Just think about that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sent down His book in the most masterful, eloquent way. There is no mistake in the Quran al-Kareem. There's no imperfection. Everything in the Quran is masterful from the beginning to the end. Every letter, every vowel, every sentence is there for a science. There's a reason why. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, it's khayrun min alfi shahr. He didn't say the 1,000 months is best in this aspect. He says khayrun. That has a meaning. There's a reason why it's mentioned in that indefinite sense. And that's from the sciences of the Quran and the sciences of the Arabic language called al-balagha and ilm al-ma'ani. That's a whole different way of when you study Arabic. It's a whole different, other than your normal Arabic. It's a whole different concept in itself. Wallahu a'lam. Next question says, can you take a motrim while fasting even if you don't need water to swallow? We say, is that the Prophet ﷺ, or we say, anything simple and get more questions in, anything that goes into your belly breaks your fast. Anything that goes into your belly breaks your fast. You swallow the pill, it's like you're eating it. It goes into your stomach. What does the pill do? What is its purpose? If it goes here, aftarta. Some of the people of knowledge mention that anything, alaykum salam, that goes into the insides of your body breaks your fast. They say jof, ears, nose, eyes, rather, we'll leave that. Some of the many things when going to the doctor, and certain things that you do when you go to a doctor, certain parts of your body. If something goes into the insides of your body, they say your fast is broken. And there's reasons why they say this. The Quran and the Sunnah, what we benefit directly from the text of the Quran and Sunnah, that which is mansus alayh, that which is textually recorded and documented, eating, drinking, sexual intercourse. Eating, drinking, and sexual intercourse. That's what we call mansus ali. Ya tulab al-ilm, O students of knowledge, beware of the salam. I warn you, hadith kull al-hadar, beware of mixing between the two, between al-mansus alayh wa ghayr al-mansus alayh. That which is mentioned by name in the Kitab and Sunnah is not like that which is extracted and deduced. There's a difference, and many people, they make a mistake and they mix the two. There's a level of sensitivity, an approach. Allah said food, drink, kala, kala, kala. Anything else that is included in that has the same meaning, right? But we say what? It's not the what? It's not the same. It's different. Khayr, inshallah. So therefore you can't take emotion in the daytime. If you're sick, if you're in pain, if you have to take painkillers, drink water, eat something, break your fast, and make it a day. As for taking a pill, you swallow that pill, it goes to your belly, you have broken your fast, because that pill is, not only has it entered into your belly, which is just like food and drink, but it also gives you nourishment, strength, soothes pain, as if you ate. As if what? As if you ate. Right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala truly knows best. Next question is with regards to women swimming in this land. Is a woman allowed to swim in this land? What is she allowed to wear? Etc. We say swimming is something that is permissible and is allowed for men and women to do in this land. Swim, sleep, eat, drink, walk, whatever you want to do. But the problem comes in and that which comes as a result of you swimming. With regards to your dress code, your attire, with regards to your morality, being in front of other people, other men, other women, them looking at your odor, you looking at their odor, as a means of fitna. Okay? So therefore, if a person had a swimming pool in his backyard, he can swim as he wants to swim. How he wants to swim, bismillah, labas. But now his neighbors are looking at him. Or he invites his neighbors to swim with him. This and that type of situation, now we need a new ruling now. Is it permissible for you to swim with another man, another woman, that's not your wife, that's not your young daughter or something like this? She's not a mahram. And if it is permissible for you to swim with them, what is she allowed to wear? Can she just wear a bathing suit? Does she have to wear a shirt, pants? Those are branches. So we say that the question is, what is the awrah of a Muslim man and a Muslim woman in Islam? What is your awrah? What's the dalil? We only accept, what do you say, Umar? He says all questions and answers in his masjid must be given by the Quran and Sunnah. So nothing else is accepted. Your answer has to be based off of Qala Allah, Qala Rasul. Nothing else. What is the awrah of a Muslim man in Islam? Right hand or left hand? La ilaha illallah. Moving on. What is awrah? What can you show in front of another man? This is important for every Muslim to know this. Especially talking about swimming. You go to school, high school, college. I want to be an Olympic swimmer. Like is it permissible? What's the awrah hadith? What's the awrah? What is your awrah? What can and cannot be seen from you? I don't know. Somebody has to give it a shot. Listen to that. And you see, in my initial point, we see the importance of the dalil in Islam. And then when you make your condition, you have to prove what you're saying with dalil. There's what? There's less people talking. So if I say answer the question, how many hands will went up? So when we say only the dalil, now you have more restrictions now. And this is from the problems that we have in da'wah. There's too many people that are speaking that are not qualified to speak. But when you sift through what's good and what's bad, what should and shouldn't be there, then you have less problems. Because people want to differ. We want to differ. We're human beings. But when we have conditions, stipulations, when we have prerequisites of who can and cannot do, then we do what? We minimize the khilaf. Everybody understand this? It's very important of Islam. For the fact that. Fadl Abu Sa'id.
So if I say there's a narration and I forget the companion.
La bas.
I say Abu Hurairah then?
Right, la bas.
Abu Hurairah, he said the Prophet said the order of the man is from the navel to the kneecaps.
Navel to the kneecaps. Yes. So the kneecaps are not from the navel.
Up to the kneecap.
You said two.
Yeah, to the knee.
Is there two and below? Can I show you my knee?
Yes, the knee. The knee.
Everybody understand the difference? Between is one thing. We said between the navel and the knee. That means that my navel is what? Huh? If I say my odor is between my navel and my knee, my navel and my knee, what does that mean?
Everything in between.
That means I can show you my what?
Okay.
My navel, because I said between. My stomach, no. My abdomen, no. My thighs, no. But my knee and my navel will be exposed. So is it between the navel and the knee or from?
From the navel to the knee.
Right. Khayr, inshallah. What about a woman? What is her aura?
The whole body.
Everything.
Everything.
So when a man goes swimming, what is he allowed to wear?
Whatever.
According to that definition,
According to that definition,
he can just wear trunks.
He should wear then
Not what's best, but what's the wajib for him to just wear what?
swimming trunks
That's it.
and a shirt. Because swimming trunks is not coming up to the navel.
Right, okay, labas. A shirt.
A shirt on top of it.
Labas. Khayr, inshallah. What about if he starts swimming with other women that are not his family members? Permissible?
You didn't ask that.
I'm asking them.
You asked the order.
Permissible now? Jazz?
His order is covered.
He can swim with other girls in the pool.
If he's not touching it.
Allahu Akbar. Khayr, inshallah.
It might be a big pool. He might be on one end.
Mumkin, possibly. Right. So we say, therefore, if a woman is swimming, if she's covered properly, we didn't get into the odor of a woman. We didn't get into that yet. She's not around men that are away from her mahram. Okay? Let's say sisters, if they had a pool, they had a recreation center. It was safe, no one was looking at them. They were dressed properly, Islamically, Islamic type swimming wear, whatever they call it. Possibly, mumkin. Al-Muhim, swimming is something that is a good thing in Islam. It's a means of recreation, it's a means of halal sport, and it's a means of fitness. Okay, it's a means of fitness. And fitness and recreation is for everybody. It's not exclusive to just one person. So what we have to understand, Muslims, is that Allah has allowed us to have permissible things. There's nothing wrong with that. As Allah told us in the story of Yusuf, what did he say? What did the brothers of Yusuf say to their father? Let us take Yusuf and do what?
Play.
That's not what they said to their father. In the beginning of the surah, what did they say? They said, let us take Yusuf and do what? Ascent, race. That verse is a proof that racing and things like this from recreation are what?
Halal.
Permissible Islam. A student of knowledge, you never underestimate or overestimate or overlook any proof. Understand this? Everything is a dalil, is a hujjah. Right? So therefore, racing, horseback riding, swimming, wrestling, this show all that best. As long as there's nothing haram, as long as nothing has a vice, whether it's men and women mixing together, people not lowering their gaze, looking at someone's odor, having someone looking at your odor, touching someone's odor, something like this. If those conditions are fulfilled, then there's nothing which makes it impermissible. Wallahu a'lam. Next question says, Tayyib says, Assalamu alaikum. What's the ruling and advice on displaying images of kuffar women dressed reasonably on social media? The reason I ask is that I may be getting involved in a business that does social media marketing, and although I have certain conditions, such as not dealing with nudity, not dealing with haram products, not uploading videos with music, to name a few. What if they ask me to post pictures of women in their organization, or other content such as mocking something or someone? Is this permissible? We say, as I would not personally advise you to take this job, and it's one of the many problems that people who are graphic designers and webmasters face, or people who are barbers. People come to your barbershop, they want haircuts. Do this, do that, shave this, trim this, so on and so forth. Okay? Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the best of your ability. My personal advice is to avoid this. Even if you put these conditions about you avoid pictures of people being naked and nude and things like this, I would not advise you to do this. Because you may start off with this condition, then the next person comes, he pays you more, I need a website, I need a design, I need a commercial, and next thing you know, you've broken your conditions. Alaikum salam. Not saying these conditions are even permissible. Not saying it's even permissible to post those pictures of women on social media. But let's say for argument's sake, you start off as respectable. And then later on, it leads to something that is not so respectable. So beware of the shaitan and beware of his plots. So me personally, I would not advise you to take that job. Ya akhil kareem. Next question says, what is the ruling of wearing a do-rag that is 100% silk? Can a man wear a do-rag that is made from silk? We say that the Prophet ﷺ, he allowed Abdurrahman ibn Auf and others from the companions to wear silk garments because they had a skin disease. They had very severe condition of chafed skin, and he allowed them to wear silk. Okay? This hadith, which is authentic in the Sahih, proves that if a person does not have a skin condition, if a person is not in a sick state, or whatever the case may be, he is not allowed to wear silk. as is stated in several other authentic hadith, that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said silk and gold are permissible for the females of this nation, haram for the males of this nation. So a Muslim man is not allowed to wear any garment that is considered to be lips wearing, or even sitting or laying upon, as Ibn Qayyim explained. A man is not allowed to lie on a silk rug or a silk cover or a silk blanket. If your wife has a silk robe, you can touch your wife's silk robe, but you can't lie on it. You can't sit on it. You can't sleep on it. So therefore, pure silk, we said pure silk, is unlawful for a Muslim male to wear in Islam. As for if it's a mix, if it's a blend, 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, then we say perhaps there may be some room in that issue, according to some of the ulama. According to some of the ulama. These garments are that which we call thiyab al-khaz. As many of the Sahaba wore these garments that were blended. But pure silk, haram. A head cap, a do-rag, in my humble opinion, I would say is considered a piece of clothing. And it's something that you wear. So even though it's not on your body, it's on your head, it's considered to be your attire. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. I would say that it's haram. A person, a Muslim man, is not allowed to wear a do-rag that is 100% silk. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Next question says, what is the ruling on watching boxing? Is a Muslim allowed to watch boxing matches? What time is it then?
7, 8 minutes.
Okay, inshallah. Alright, we'll stop here. Give people time to get ready for iftar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Perhaps, by Allah's permission, we will continue this Q&A session maybe tomorrow evening, inshallah, if Allah gives us life. If there are no other questions from the brothers or the sisters of the steps, we'll stop now. Alhamdulillah.